Hey guys, so sorry I can't be there today. I have contracted some sort of bug, but hopefully I will be back tomorrow. Um, those of you who have not finished the speed debating yet, don't worry, we will get back to that when I get back tomorrow. But today, everybody is going to start thinking about rhetorical appeals or the devices that are used in an argumentative text. So for your warm up, I want you to think of a time you convinced your parents to let you do something, and I want you to describe how you convinced them. This is just a quick 5-minute warm up. It's short, don't spend a lot of time in it. Everything you need for today is in Google Classroom. So your warm up is going to be this one right here, the rhetorical appeals warm up. Looks just like this. You need to think of a time you convinced your parents to let you do something and describe how you convinced them to let you do it. Again, just 5 minutes here. All right, now that you have finished your warm up, we want to start to think about, well, how do we build a good argument? Remember, we are working on a project, and if you pull your packet out and you look at your packet, you will see that there are a bunch of different kinds of projects that you can do in order to complete your argument. You can write an essay, you can do a TED Talk, you can come up with a public service announcement, you can create a brochure. There's a lot that you can do. But regardless of what kind of project you decide to do, you need to keep these things in mind when you're building your argument. You need to remember what your position is. You need to remember who your audience is. And then you need to think about, well, how can you convince your audience to agree with your position? Okay, you are going to look at several examples of arguments today. And as you're looking at those examples, you really want to be thinking about the claim, the audience, and how the author gets the audience to agree with the claim. So you're going to identify, well, what is the claim? Remember, the claim is the position. That's the opinion. What position is the argument making? You want to identify who the intended audience is. When we create arguments, we aren't just creating them for everyone. We are creating them with very specific people in mind. And we want to be trying to convince those people to agree with us. So we need to be thinking about the audience. And then we want to start to think about, well, how is the author trying to convince the target audience to agree with the claim? So you are going to, when you're looking at these examples, think about all of the different ways that the writer or the creator has chosen to try and convince the audience to agree with the claim. All right, we are going to look at an example together. In the handout that you are going to be using to look at the examples, this one is already done for you. But first, let's take a look at the commercial. This is a Volvo commercial.
I'm gonna walk up. Then I stop there. Then I drive it. Left and right. Back and forward.
Like only have 22 in a mission. Then I feel so forget the next door the fool. Then I feel so forget the next door the fool. Anytime you're ready to know this is start war. See we do this when you don't get what this time is the bomb. The bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. With the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. My style is the bomb, the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. Just check up with a press people boy. No man that chat confused with some. join on me soul. From the style is the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. I don't want to play with the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. My style is the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. I don't want to play with the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy. My style is the bomb, the dang, diggy, diggy.
Okay, so we want to think about, well, what is the creator of this commercial doing in order to convince us of something? You guys are all going to do this. So the playlist is in Google Classroom, and you are going to do this exact same process. The playlist it's called Playlist, Argument Playlist Part 1. That's what you're doing. It looks like this. Okay. You are going to choose 4 different arguments from this playlist, but the first one is based on that video, and I've done it for you. So you are going to identify the claim. And I said the claim is people should buy Volvo trucks, right? That's the position. You're going to identify who the intended audience is. I said that maybe the audience was construction workers, or maybe construction business owners, or maybe anyone who does work that requires a really durable vehicle. And then in this column, this is where you're going to do most of your thinking. You want to think about how the author or creator is trying to convince the target audience to agree with the claim. So for that video we just watched, I said that there were all of these ways, all of these choices that the creators of this commercial made in order to convince us that we should buy Volvo trucks. One, I said that having a little girl driving makes us think about gender and age, especially since trucks and construction vehicles are usually marketed towards boys. So maybe this is trying to convince us that this vehicle is not just for the boys, right? I said that there are balloons hanging on the tower where she is standing, and that makes it seem like a party, like maybe this experience is a gift she's getting for her birthday. So, maybe getting one of these trucks is like a special gift. I said that there are lots of adults in construction vests and hard hats, so there are lots of experts with her as she is driving this truck, which makes it feel safe because there are people there who know what they're doing. I said that one choice that the writer or creator makes is the music. Like, the music is really upbeat and happy. There's humor. The little girl's face is really funny when she crashes into things, and when she rolls that truck down the hill. And I said that the truck still works even after the girl drives it off the edge and rolls it down the hill, and that shows how tough the truck really is. So you are going to do the same thing. You need to choose 4 different arguments from this playlist, and then for each one, you are going to identify the claim, identify the audience, and then identify some of the ways that the author or the creator has tried to convince the audience to agree with the claim. There is a huge list here. There are TED Talks, there's a public service announcement, there's some op-eds from newspapers, there's a political cartoon, a brochure, an infographic, a couple podcasts. So there's plenty on this list for you to choose from. You need to choose 4. And you need to complete the 3 questions for the 4 that you choose. When you choose these 4, you want to be thinking about, well, what kind of project are you interested in doing? So if you're interested in doing a TED Talk, maybe you should watch one of the TED Talks. If you're interested in creating a public service announcement, then maybe you should watch the public service announcement or maybe look at the infographic. So think about what kind of project you are interested in completing. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments. I will be online during your class period today, so I will be available to answer any questions that you have. Just a quick note, this assignment is due at the end of the period, and it is worth 40 points. So you want to make sure you stay focused. You want to make sure that you look at 4 of those things and that you identify the claim in the audience and the ways the author tries to convince the audience. All right, have a good day, guys, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.